All right, let's just get right into it. The big one. Is e-commerce totally saturated? I mean, this is the question, right? It's on the mind of pretty much anyone thinking about starting their own thing online.
You've probably asked yourself this. Maybe it sounds something like, man, with all the competition out there, is there even room for me? Can I really start something successful right now? And look, that's a totally fair question. It's a heavy thought for sure. And if you're feeling that way, you are absolutely not alone. In fact, this is the #1 fear, the big one, that just stops most people cold. It keeps them from ever even taking that first step.
So that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to grab that fear, put it under the microscope, and see if it actually holds up. So let's start with section 1, e-commerce. Is it dead or is it more alive than ever?
Okay, let's just be real for a second. A lot of people think it's way harder to start an e-commerce business now than it was, say, 5 years ago. And you know what? They're not wrong. It is harder. But, and this is a huge but, that is definitely not the whole story. So that brings us to the real question we need to answer. Just because it's harder, does that mean the opportunity's gone? Or, and this is the interesting part, could it actually mean the opportunity is bigger than it has ever been?
Look, opinions are great, but numbers don't lie. And that's where we're going next. Let's get into section 2, the power of numbers.
So, what are we looking at here? This timeline is showing us the e-commerce slice of the global retail pie, all the way from 2015 up to 2023. And I mean, just look at that trend line. It's not just growing, it's accelerating. The momentum is undeniable. And to really put that into perspective, check out this number. $6.5 times trillion. That was the projection for global e-commerce sales. That's trillion with a T. So we're not talking about a shrinking pie here, folks. This is more like an exploding galaxy of opportunity.
So you might be asking, okay, what's causing this massive boom? Well, it's a huge shift in the way retail itself works. You've got more brands selling directly to consumers. That's you and me. Private labeling is just taking off because brands are realizing, hey, we can skip the middleman, have more control, and make more money. And here's the golden rule to remember through all of this. There will always be more people buying stuff than selling stuff. All right, so the opportunity is huge. We've established that. But how do you actually get a piece of that action? That's what section 3 is all about, the 3 pillars of success. It's actually a pretty simple 3-step formula when you break it down. Number 1 is product, and that means finding your specific niche. Number 2, promotion. You got to make marketing the absolute king. And number 3, people, which is all about putting customer service first. Let's dig into that first pillar, product. Here is the absolute biggest mistake that new entrepreneurs make. They try to make a product for everyone. But here's the hard truth. When you try to sell to everyone, you end up selling to no one. Real success comes from creating a product for someone, for a specific person, a specific group. You got to find that passionate niche and serve them like crazy. Okay, now for pillar 2. And this one might ruffle some feathers. It kind of goes against what a lot of people think. The idea is this: marketing is first and your product is a close second. Now, why on earth would that be? It's simple, really. You could have the most amazing, life-changing product in the world, but if nobody knows it exists, it's gonna fail. Every single time.
And hey, this isn't just some abstract idea. There's a real-world story here. A cautionary tale about a clothing brand called Charge Athletics. The clothes, apparently they were awesome, really high quality. But all of the time, money, and effort, 100% of it, went into the product. And what was left for marketing? Zero, nothing. And you can probably guess what happened. The brand completely failed. Why? Not because the product was bad, but because nobody ever found out about it.
And that brings us to our third and final pillar, people. We have got to change the way we think about customer service. It's not some expense on a spreadsheet. It's not a cost center. It is your secret weapon. It's the thing that sets you apart from everyone else and helps you build a brand that lasts. This is how you take someone who buys from you once and turn them into a fan for life.
You want proof? Let's talk about Zappos. They are the absolute masters of this. A mind-blowing 75% of their sales come from people who have bought from them before. That doesn't happen by accident. That's not luck. That kind of loyalty is built, one great experience at a time, because they made customer happiness the absolute center of everything they do.
Okay, so let's recap. The market is not dead. In fact, it's booming. And we have a clear 3-pillar framework to follow. So what's left? Well, that brings us to the last part, your next step.
I really want this next thought to sink in. It's this: the more you wait, the harder it's going to be.
It's true, it is more competitive now than it was 5 years ago. But guess what? 5 years from now, it's going to be even tougher than it is today. You know that old saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now. It's just like
So that fear, that feeling that it's too saturated, it feels like a giant wall, but the numbers show us it's just a shadow. The opportunity is real. The path forward is actually pretty clear. The customers are out there. So really, there's only one question left. When does your story get started?